this time period where the student gets into the analysis domain, right? और अगर ये time आपने खो दिया तो आपका मेंस नहीं होने वाला है. आफ्टर एवरी क्लास स्टूडेंट विल बी गेटिंग अ क्वेश्चन विच शी हैज टू राइट. यूपीएससी नेवर आस्क क्वेश्चन विच आर लाइक स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन. यूपीएससी ऑलवेज आस्क क्वेश्चंस लाइक इन कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ टॉपिक ए टॉपिक बी हैपेंड दैट रिजल्टेड इन टॉपिक सी.
Hello dear aspirants, I am Vishal Salsekar and I welcome you all for this special conversational video regarding the UPSC examination 2025. As the countdown for UPSC examination 2025 has already begun and now from October till January, there are roughly 4 months that are remaining where you can consolidate your preparation for mains of 2025. So to discuss regarding these kind of issues and to get solution regarding this, I am joined by Himanshu Khatri sir, who is the faculty of VisionIAS. Welcome sir.
Thank you so much, Vishal.
So sir, as from October to January, these are very crucial months in the context of preparation for UPSC candidate. So sir, generally students have these months as the lean period, but these are very crucial period for the mains examination and these decides how students is going to utilize the time period between prelims and mains. So there is a program known as Mains Advanced course. So what is this course all about, sir?
So the primary focus of the mains advanced course at VisionIAS is to ensure that the student becomes what you call as mains ready, where we have a targeted approach where we try to cover the syllabus in such a manner so that focus is on analysis, and we are trying to basically ensure that the student starts developing analytical skills with respect to the content depending on whatever subject that we are talking about. So that is the primary focus, how to approach the mains level questions, how to actually use the knowledge which the student has already gathered, how to make interconnections between different topics, between subjects also, because nowadays we see that UPSC has asked questions which are like interdisciplinary in nature. So therefore that is the primary focus. Also we try to ensure that the student gets into answer writing practice. So it's not just about analysis, it is also about execution of that analysis. So the primary focus ultimately begins that the student owns the skills which are really required for mains, and that actually helps you in the prelims also, because until unless you have developed a thorough analysis of the content, then you cannot just by rote learning you cannot clear the prelims.
Exactly sir. So sir, already there are many such products in the market which are like talking about either specifically mains examination or in general the foundation courses. So how this mains advanced course is going to be different from the usual courses that are already going on?
First element, it is of time. That is, we are going to ensure that maximum utilization of the time happens which the student gives to us. So therefore in that sense the return on investment on time is very, very high in this particular course. Second element is that we also give the student, tests after each class. So the student gets a very kind of like a continuous feedback that how she or he is actually, progressing, right? Faculty is available with respect to answering advanced level doubts, right? And even basic doubts for that matter. Our whole team is available to handhold a student with respect to the analytical part and the execution of that analysis. Previous year questions, they are discussed, right? And inspired from the previous year questions, what can be future year questions, right? So therefore that the kind of focus it is there. So that's how we try to give the best of these services to the students.
Right sir. So as you have talked about that there are certain kind of things, there may be a chance that student might be having some kind of basic understanding of those things. So is there any kind of prerequisite that we are expecting right now from the students?
Yes, the prerequisite for this is that students should at least feel that they have covered the syllabus at least once, right? So that they are in general aware. Otherwise they may feel that if they do not know the basics, so here we do not spend time on focusing on the very basic elements, although they are covered indirectly. I'm not saying that we do not deal with the basic part, but we deal with the basic part from an analytical perspective, right? And wherever possible, me as a faculty, and I'm pretty sure that my colleagues also, they also try to ensure that wherever even the clarification with respect to basics can take place, we try. But our primary focus is basically the analytical part, whereby we try to combine different pieces, right, into different formulations, so that a student can develop that analytical skills and execution skills.
So, sir, as you have emphasized on analytical aspects, one such prominent aspect is current affairs, and we have this program of Means 365, which will be inherent part of this Means Advanced course also, right, sir? So, sir, as the UPSC is changing its trends and asking more of a applied kind of question, so how this integration of Means Advanced course along with the Means 365 is going to help the students?
Well, in my subject, if you talk about, the government of India celebrates, anniversaries of the personalities which come in news, in important speeches, important personalities from the past, they figure, right? So therefore, our core area is world history, modern history, and post-independence India, right? And we know that how the geopolitical situation is advancing, right? So therefore, the historical aspects of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the historical aspects of the Israel-Palestine issue, right? So therefore, current affairs has, great impact on the questions which are asked either purely from history, or the questions which are a mixture of the current and the past. So therefore, that's how actually it has a very big impact on the questions.
So I think Means 365 integration with the Means Advanced course is going to give a great dividend, because we have seen a lot of questions either directly or indirectly were asked from Means 365 and this means also.
Yeah, I'll give an example, not of mains but of prelims. For example, I think it was last year or last year, whereby they kind of like integrated the Swadeshi movement and the National Handicrafts Day. Right. So therefore, see, the government celebrated National Handicrafts Day. So therefore, what is the history behind it? So question that can come, it can come in the prelims also, it can come in the mains also, or even in the interview. Who knows? Right.
Exactly, sir. So, sir, now coming to your subject, which is modern Indian history, post-independence, and world history. So, can you tell the students that what are the changing trends in this particular subject as far as the means is concerned?
See, broadly, 5-6 categories of can be analyzed, right? The previous year questions, and we have tried to develop our syllabus also of the mains advanced course in that particular fashion, right? So the first aspect that comes into operation is rise of the regional powers combined with the decline of Mughals, right? So questions have been asked, although यहाँ से थोड़े से कम पूछे गए हैं, बट यस पूछे गए हैं पिछले 4-5 सालों में, ठीक है. दूसरा आ जाता है एस्पेक्ट दैट with respect to rise of the East India Company, right? So usually UPSC was not asking questions from the pre-1857, but last years, all the questions they asked from the pre-1857 era. That is conquest by the East India Company. Then the next category comes that rule by the East India Company, that what were their policies. Then the next category comes that what was the impact on the people and what was the response of the different sections of the society to the rule of the East India Company, whereby we talk about the pre-1857 revolts, the post-1857 revolts, the early Indian national movement from the time period of the Indian National Congress, that is 1885, then different sub-phases up till 1920 in the form of moderates, extremists. And from 1920 onwards, UPSC has multiple times emphasized that in the Gandhian era, what happened, right? How the different sections of the society participated, right? So therefore, that's how. And then the constitutional part, that is, let's say, from the Regulating Act of 1773 until the Government of India Act of 1935, right? This is like our constitutional history. And then we have what you call as transfer of power. So recently UPSC has focused on transfer of power, that how the Britishers, they complicated the process of transfer of power in the 1940s, right? Whereby we talk about very small things, but very, very important things constitutionally, be it different kind of plans like Wavell Plan or Cripps Mission, and the pacts between Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, right? Gandhi Jitna talks and all of that. So very fast-paced constitutional things they happen from 1939 onwards. So therefore, our focus, it's very legal focus, very serious focus, right? So it's going to be very serious and very knowledge enrichment kind of a program from our side.
Exactly. So, sir, now talking about the practice, which is one of the most crucial areas as far as the mains is concerned, and generally students do not realize this at this juncture. What they tend to do, they tend to keep it like pushing towards the prelims and mains gap, because of which they generally do not get adequate time to practice. So that's why we have also included sectional mini tests that are going to be part of this mains advanced course. So what do you think, like how it is going to help students?
Well, it leads to clear, precise feedback, right? So student gets to know that in which particular areas I'm lacking, and it also leads to confidence, because if you have just revised a particular section with the help of a senior faculty, right? You have analyzed the topics which are there in that particular section, and then when you get good marks, right? And you get a comparative feedback also that how my fellow batchmates are doing. So therefore your confidence rises, and just in case if you get bad marks, then in that case you know that okay, this is my particular area of weakness, right? So therefore clear feedback, that is our thing, because most of the students at this particular stage would have at least once covered different aspects. Now how to actually polish those things, so that is the focus, and we try to act as an aid in that.
Right. So, sir, in the beginning, I have said that most of the students do not realize that this time period between October to January, because from Feb onwards, generally student orient himself or herself towards prelims specifically. But this particular months of October to Jan is very, very crucial. So, what do you think? Like, what kind of things are hindering student to practice, or maybe the means related preparation?
You have raised a very, very pertinent and very, very important issue, right? Because the whole point is that we get stuck in the cycle of UPSC, and the UPSC mains more than 50% of the topics, they are coming from mains only subjects, right? So for example, only GS 1, 2 and 3, they are related to those subjects which are common to prelims as well as mains. Otherwise, the whole of GS4, you're optional, right? If you include the essay also. So therefore, the weightage of the mains only subjects is much higher compared to the weightage of topics which are common to prelims as well as mains. And because we usually approach a gradualist, thought process, right? That first we'll qualify prelims, then we'll qualify mains, and that's not how things work. And therefore, if the student is constantly working only for the prelims, so therefore how much time he or she gets between prelims and mains? Only 3 months. In those 3 months, you have to revise the prelims and mains common topics, plus you have to study the mains only subjects, plus you have to do the test series, because without tests writing you cannot actually be really efficient in the examination hall. तो आप कब करेंगे, राइट? तो यही टाइम है. दिस इज एक्चुअली द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टाइम पीरियड. दिस इज अ टाइम पीरियड वेयर अ स्टूडेंट इज फ्री फ्रॉम एंग्जाइटी. दिस इज अ टाइम पीरियड वेयर बाय स्टूडेंट गेट्स टाइम टू कंसोलिडेट नोट्स. दिस इज टाइम पीरियड वेयर द स्टूडेंट गेट्स इनटू द एनालिसिस डोमेन, राइट? और अगर ये टाइम आपने खो दिया तो आपका मेंस नहीं होने वाला है, सीधी सी बात है, चाहे अच्छा लगे चाहे बुरा लगे. तो ये है, तो दैट बिकम्स दिस टाइम पीरियड इज वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल. तो उसी पे हमको फोकस करना चाहिए. व्हाट वाज द सेकंड एलिमेंट ऑफ योर क्वेश्चन?
Sir, regarding this, you can discuss the solution also in this.
सॉल्यूशन यही है दैट कंटेंट तो बहुत सारा है, बट एक तो हमें पता नहीं है कि उस कंटेंट को इंटरमिक्स करके यूज़ कैसे करना है, ठीक है ना? उसको अलग अलग नज़रिए से एनालाइज कैसे करना है. Because UPSC never asks questions which are like straightforward question. UPSC always asks questions like, in context of topic A, topic B happened, that resulted in topic C. Full stop. Do you agree? Elaborate, analyze, comment, criticize, etc., etc. That's the whole thing, right? And unless you qualify the mains, obviously you're not going to qualify the exam, right? So I always give highest importance to the mains, right? So because prelims is like just like filtering out, the bad candidates, relatively bad candidates from the good candidates. So it's extremely important, और वही हमारी कोशिश रहेगी कि हम उस चीज़ को स्टूडेंट को निखार पाएँ.
Exactly. So I think that will be a very comprehensive package that the student might be getting in the form of mains advanced course, because it includes the revision, it includes practice, it includes certain amount of feedback, and apart from that other features like mentoring and all that are already be part of this particular program.
बिल्कुल. एनालिसिस होगा, उसके बाद एक फील ये आएगी दैट रफली वी हैव कवर्ड द होल सिलेबस इन रिलेटिवली लेस अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम, जिससे रिविजन होगा. जो डाउट्स कुछ स्टूडेंट्स के रह गए उनकी पॉलिशिंग होगी. उसके बाद कहते हैं टीचर जो हैं वो खुद दे विल बी डूइंग सैम्पल क्वेश्चंस, राइट? देन After every class, student will be getting a question which she has to write. Then sectional tests are also there, right? उससे जो doubts निकलेंगे वो भी student पूछ सकता है. And ultimately, therefore, जैसा मैंने शुरुआत में भी कहा, best return on investment of time.
Exactly. So I think that was a very comprehensive discussion about the features as well as what a student should do and what student should avoid in this particular 4 months time period.
Yes. You ask very good questions which leads to very comprehensive answers. तो आप क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे तो डिस्कशन बिल्कुल कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव होगी.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining, sir, for today.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Vishal.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, students.
So with this, we came to an conclusion to this particular discussion. So for more such kind of content, stay tuned with VisionIAS. Thank you.